sip wine, wine, wine. Kick my feet up when I get tired. And as I regrind, take another sip, let my thoughts unwind, wine. Sipping and spilling it. Sipping and spilling the tea. Sipping and spilling it.
What is poppin', everyone?
What's poppin'?
How you niggas doing?
I'm feeling like twinning because for the last few weeks, I feel like we have not been twinning. We've been doing the different juxtapositions, but today we both got a little bit of something on over here and something on over here.
Okay.
Because we both got because yours is more the corset, but mine is still strapless. And then we both got kind of like cargos on, even though yours are bell bottoms. So we kind of twinning. This is more than we've done in a long time.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, girl. Same old, just a different day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to get the show started because it's a Wednesday and it feels kind of weird, but we're going to do it.
It does feel weird that it's Wednesday, but guess what? The bitches are bitches are back at it again with another messy ass episode. Okay, so we're going to start with our lyrically correct game. If you guys been hip to it, there's nothing new for us to tell y'all. So I'm going to pick the first one. It says, DMX dated 3 girls with this name.
Keisha.
No. Can I tell you what?
Oh.
It says A, Brenda, B, Letitia, C, Nikki, D, Kim.
It was all of them.
But he dated 3 girls with this name.
Oh, he said all their names.
I know. See, got you tricked up. I'm
going to say Brenda.
No, it's Kim.
Kim?
Take a shot.
Damn, but he said all their names.
He did.
When did he say he dated Brenda, though? Kim.
I don't remember.
I don't know that part.
I don't know either, girl, but that's the most legendary part of the song. I don't even know the song name.
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Ooh.
Okay.
And shoop, what was Peppa's weakness?
Girls, what's my weakness, men? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. It was funny how you said it, though. Take a shot, because I got it right.
What?
Because if you get it wrong, you take a shot. And if the other person gets it right, you have to take a shot.
Fair.
That's the rules. We've been doing those rules.
I don't like this game. Let's change it.
I think you don't like the rules because you lost.
I don't like taking 2 shots back to back.
Well, here we are.
Back at it again.
All alone. And did you hear that Drake did a remix to BBL Drizzy? No, BBL Drizzy. And I'm I said, that's not a flex for you to rap over a song about you with a BBL. It's not a flex. It's weird.
Okay.
And Get Me Home, when it was all said and done, what did Foxy Brown have for you?
I've never heard that song.
Me either.
We both taking shots. Well, you're not, and it's not fair because you don't have any.
Y'all, because I'm fighting for my life. Sammy don't understand. I don't know. There's something in this liquor nowadays that they have because I feel like if I drink more than 4 days in a row, like my throat starts tightening up. I feel like I'm dying. I'm over here coughing. So the liquor or the hookah, something's in it.
I feel like that should be happening after drinking 4 days in a row. Something about drinking 4 days in a row.
Yeah, because I was drinking.
Not being sick.
I drank Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days.
I think what's happened to you is
my immune system is shutting down.
You deserve it.
No, I deserve it.
I mean, you were drinking 5 days in a row.
Take your shot and then ask me the question, bitch, because I'm about to get into my PSA about what motherfuckers get from me.
Oh, shit. I was hoping you're forgetting.
What, that you had to take a shot?
Yes.
Absolutely not. I'm sober AF. Bitch, let's play ball. And nobody told you to pour that big-ass shot of yours. You poured like a quadruple. And is there still something in that bottle? Is there still something in that bottle? That's crazy. That's the bottle that never ends.
This is such an easy one. What did Neo change? What does Neo got to change now that he's alone?
Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone.
Because right now,
oh no, I was gonna say the song's over. I was gonna say
it's over when you stop singing because I can't sing.
So let's get into my PSA. So my PSA was different than this, what I actually put, but we gonna get into it. So there was a video of a black man that said, if you're a black man that dates white girls that like Starbucks, Taylor Swift, and he said something else that was a reference, but he said you really like white girls. But he said if you date white girls that are, I think he said trailer park. I think is that the word he used?
He said trailer park.
He said trailer park. Pretty much he trailer park, big booty, X, Y, and Z. He was like, you just hate black women. And my issue has nothing. We always say we don't have the problem with a preference. It's like, why is it related to the fact, why are we either over-sexualized or ghetto when it comes to comparing black women? It's like, I think two things can be true at once because I have a big ass. I talk like my trailer trash shit, I guess if we want to say, because I cuss a lot. And I like Taylor Swift. So two things can be true at once. So why is it because those are more socially acceptable than you really like white girls and not just, that's the type of girls you like.
Right. Yeah, I think we need to stop trying to associate characters with race.
Yeah.
Because characters can be in both races. White girls can like Taylor Swift and black girls can like Taylor Swift. White girls can like to shake their ass, black girls like to shake their ass. I just don't understand if you like white girls who do this, you really like white girls. To me, when I saw that video, I was kind of like, this is just so counterproductive because I came off as pandering to me.
It did.
And it wasn't really effective. I didn't like what he said because it's like, you're saying, well, if you like this, that means you actually like white girls. If you like, why is everything like he said was negative associated with black women?
And that's
I
a
don't
problem.
like that. Like, not everything loud, ghetto, all of that it's
associated with black women.
It's synonymous to black women.
But they always make it only synonymous to black girls because we always say even when it's a different race, specifically Latina, because we say they are someone that are known for their passionate lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're going to say passionate because I don't like calling anyone aggressive, even as a black woman. It's, they're spicy, they're this, they're that. But black women, she got an attitude problem.
Yeah.
She this. And I'm like, but all things, I do have attitude problems sometimes. But I don't want it to be called out by a man as the reason why you don't like me is because of my attitude.
Right. Because every race of women can have an attitude problem.
Exactly.
We all have attitudes.
But I feel like it's only y'all hang up on the negative characteristics when it comes to black women to justify why y'all don't date black women.
Yeah.
And if you don't date black women, that's okay. But your mama's still going to be a black woman regardless if you date us or not.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get into our story time. Okay. So there was a video that went viral of a girl. I think did she live in Atlanta or did she live in Houston? It was one of these major cities. I'm not sure. But she went on a virtual date with a man that lives out of state. So they both got reservations at Ruth Chris, and then they had their phones on FaceTime, and they were ordering, they were talking. And I was like, is this the new version of dating? Would you do something like that?
Like I said, it depends.
Okay.
It depends on how far he lived.
Yeah.
And it depends if he paid for it. Because I feel like if you expect me to go on a virtual date and still pay for it.
That is interesting, because she didn't even talk about who paid or anything.
Yeah, I feel like why would I go on a date and with you virtually but pay for it myself? Because then it's not, to me, that's not a date. And did she order an Uber for herself? Because she got in the backseat.
She did.
So
I don't know.
I was kind of confused. Will I do it? I'm not against it. If you live far away and there's no way we can see each other and we have to go months and months, like I guess if you live in a different country, I would do a virtual
I feel
date.
like if it was a different country, because niggas fly you out all the time.
All the time.
To do
so
shit.
I could have just did this in
or
person.
what if his finances aren't up to par for him to fly her out to go on a date, so a virtual date was the
only option? That's great for her. I think, that was sweet. But me personally, I wouldn't be in that situation. So I would, if you live in the continental U.S., I don't see a reason for us to do a virtual date. I got it during COVID. Because, during 2020 when y'all were doing it, it made sense.
Yeah,
that was cute. I love that y'all still took the effort to still try to date each other while being locked down. But now that we can actually get on planes and fly to the person, I don't see the point of it. Unless, like I said, he lives internationally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. So let's get into our icks of the week.
All right. My ick of the motherfucking week is I am so tired of men on the internet trying to convince us that as we grow older, we lose value. Because if it was so true, y'all wouldn't spend so much time trying to tell us that. Like, let's be fucking for real. Y'all get on the internet and spiel, once you hit 30, you half off. Once you have a baby and you're a single mother, you're not worth marrying. Especially to black women. Y'all love to love telling us how much we don't have value and that we're worthless and we're not worth marrying and no one's ever want to be with us. At the same time, y'all try to tell us, we should be married off by the time we're 20 in our early 20s. But at the same time, we should pick the right man in our early 20s. And we shouldn't get divorced from the man because no matter what to do, we should be with him. At the same time, we have to choose the best man. Well, we're in our early 20s. We can't choose the best husband that early in our life, I don't think. And if you choose to marry early, great for you. But don't let society try to force you into doing something you're not fully ready for. If you are not ready to commit your life to a man at 25, 27, 29, 30, that is okay. And if you are ready to commit to a man at 22, 23, that is okay too. Do it for you. Don't let society try to beat you down to make you believe that because you are an older woman trying to date, or if you're an older woman trying to do things, that you don't deserve it because you're older. Like, it didn't happen fast enough for you. Everyone's life journey is so different. And the love you found at 45 could last a lifetime, and the love you found at 20 could last 2 years. So that's all I got to say about that.
I mean, you said it perfectly. I don't need to ick it with it.
Yeah.
But my ick of the week are the Persos of the 1942. Why are y'all going around spending $25 on... Have you seen the little Persos?
I have. I thought they were cute.
Those are so irritating. Now,
But I didn't know they were $25. I changed everything.
I looked it up. I looked it up just because I wanted to see. I'm like, let me see what this small flex is about. But it's like, if it's a party favor, I understand. But y'all are really like putting this on the internet like y'all are doing something. You paid $25 for that when you could have got a whole bottle of maybe Espolòn or Terramana or something else. But I'm like, just to say you have 1942.
Yeah, I was with it till I realized it was $25 because that's really it's five more dollars for an Espolòn bottle.
It really is. I'm just saying, just to say you have a 42 Perso, which is barely a fucking shot, if
that would have been so cute if it's like a bachelorette, like, will you be my bridesmaid?
That's what I'm saying. If it's a party favor, I don't mind. Yeah, but people are just over here posting it like it's a flex. It's not a flex. It's trendy.
It's cute.
But it's
not cute for $25.
It's definitely icking. It's definitely icking me out. This week, next week, the week after that, you will never see me with a Perso. I'd rather just get the big bottle. That's a big flex.
All right. Well, you know what else is flex? The girls are back at it again with another messy-ass episode of Sip and Spill, where we create conversations all wild.
Sipping wine.
My name's motherfucking Sammy.
And I'm ambitious, thick thighs, save lives, Teray.
Ow.
So let's get into some wine facts so we can get into some motherfucking tea time.
Tea time.
So I try to go with on brand of what we did last week, because last week we drank something that was called Luna something, right? Like, let's talk about the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw this and I was like, that's so on brand for what was happening last week. So this is called Luna Nuda. I don't know if that's what it's really saying, but okay. And it's a Pinot Grigio. You know, sometimes we very rarely, seldomly drink white wine. But overall, it has 12.5% alcohol percentage. It's a product of Italy, which is so interesting to me because it's like, wine is made from so many places, but do they ever really taste different? Because we always have ones from California, and it's just like Italy. But why is it packaged like this? Why wouldn't it be...
Are you saying is a Pinot Grigio from somewhere else taste different from a Pinot Grigio from Italy? Okay.
So it's from Italy. That's really what I was like. I was like,
I don't know if they taste different because they're from different places, but they do have different packaging at a time.
I just really don't understand why it's a twisty, though.
Aren't most whites twisty? A lot of whites are twisties. That's very common for white.
Is it?
It's very common for white wines. Pinot Grigios to be twisties. Chardonnays are sometimes twisties, not all the time.
Cheers.
But then again, I did work at a wine bar for a while, so.
Cheers.
I'm glad you mixed mine with some tequila. This is nasty. I'm not really feeling it.
Oh, it's nasty?
Yeah, it's nasty.
Ooh, child.
And I like Pinot Grigio, so I didn't like this at all. But so let's get into our motherfucking tea time.
Tea time.
So my girl Vivica A. Fox was on Hada and Jenny. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but she was on there to talk about how she is wanting to date. You know, she's a 60-year-old woman and she's looking for a partner, someone who's not going to be timid about who she is, and you know, someone's going to let her go shopping. And I love that for her. I feel like I say it all the time. You can find love. I just said it earlier. You can find love at any age. I know there's people in the comments saying, "Oh, well, she's 60. What's she doing trying to date at 60?" What do you want someone to just be alone and die? Like, I don't see the problem in you can pivot and restart your life at any point in life. I just saw a TikTok of an 89-year-old woman getting married, and this guy was like, "Oh, he was so excited. He was like, "Oh, that's my girl." Like, you can find love at any age, and at the same time, no matter how old you are, we all want the same things. Like, we all want a partner. We all want to feel loved. We all want to, you know, have someone care for us. So why do you feel like when someone gets older, they no longer want those things, or they shouldn't want those things because they're older? You know, I don't understand the, I guess, ageism that people have, that especially when it's a woman, that because it's an older woman, after you reach a certain age, you should just be like a nun, I guess, just want nothing, do nothing, just whatever. So what do you think about that?
I think ageism is real, and I feel like even though we can address it and be so up in arms and angry about it, it's realistic, because even in the video she said that she's not picky, which was kind of weird to even say that, because when you're younger we say we're more picky, more selective, more X, Y, and Z. And now she's getting older, she's like, I don't even care what race, I don't even care what, like, I feel like you should still have the same standards with, because I don't want to say you have to broaden it, because when you say broaden it, it's like you're being more open to other things, but it's like, because of your age, you have to be more open to other shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I know, but
as you get, when she said I'm not too picky, I don't think she meant like she's lowering her standards. I got that as she's not caring about height, she's not caring about race, she's not really caring so much about how much he makes.
But I feel like you should still be picky though, because I feel like that's kind of why you're single now. You were picky for this long, you held off for this long, so age does take a place in that. So I feel like when you start saying I'm not picky now, I'm like, well, now they're being picky because you're older. Mm-hmm. So I feel like no matter how much we want to be separate but equal, we don't have the same luxury when we're older. And I know it angers us, but the realistic...
You mean we as in women?
Yeah, us as in women. I mean, and you were just very angry about it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it angers us, but the realistic thing is we don't have the greatest picking order the older we get. Men do. So it's like, yes, we can get angry. We're like, oh, well, we should be able to still want the same. Yes, we want the same things, but our options do get limited. So when she says I'm not picky, I took it as, no, you were picky before, so stand on that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you just gotta.
Yeah, I don't agree with you. I feel like men's option also decrease as they get older, especially with the women who are of this new generation of women. They're not trying to date an old man. They're not trying to be with the old man because he's older. And if they are dating an old man, they know to take money out of him. So these regular smuggler, degular old guys are not getting the pick of the litter. There's a very selected group of men whose options do get better as they get older. But no, I didn't get that when she said I'm not being too picky. I thought she meant like she's not caring about height, race, all of that. Extra.
But I feel like that's still saying the same thing, because I'm like, if you were being picky up until 60, that's why you aren't with someone, because you've been picky. So when you're saying now, oh, I'm not picky anymore, what changed other than your age?
Yeah. That's true, because
she's always been difficult. She's always been fine.
Too. As I gotten older, I'm 100% way more open to dating white men than I was last year.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
100%.
But that's what I'm saying. Being picky is the reason why you are where you're at, and you have to just address it. If that's the case, it's going to close up.
All right. So Isaiah Thomas, shout out to Isaiah Thomas, because he's the reason why a lot of people are not discriminative about height when it comes to NBA. Because he showed us that you don't got to be too tall to be a star champion in the NBA. But recently, he was talking about how he was held up on gunpoint, and he was robbed or almost got robbed. And the only reason he kept his life was because the person recognized who he was. And that's just such a scary situation. We always talk about when we go back to our neighborhoods, like, you know, especially being who you are, be very careful. But I mean, him being who he is actually saved him. But imagine if it wasn't someone that was famous. Who knows how that person's life would have ended up. And I think it's just so sad that people have to like resort to taking things from people in order to have a living. But I understand that some people are victims of their circumstances, and because the reason we rob is because you have no other choice. But I feel like there's always a choice. You don't have to rob and still do that, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm glad he made it out safe. Shout out to him, and I'm just take this as a lesson that be careful, especially when you're famous.
I feel like the part that you're missing is the fact that he said it was a child. He said he was held by gunpoint by a kid.
Yeah.
So I feel like what makes it even worse, it's like the media.
Well, he's 60. So a kid to him, I don't know if he meant an actual kid.
I'm pretty sure it's a kid, because I feel like we know who's a teenager. We know who's an adult.
Yeah.
So when you say a kid, you have to also think about the filtering. Even if it's a circumstance of your situation, what is your kids watching? Why is your child being raised by the TV? Why is your child being raised by the streets? And no one's saying that we are above, like, having iPod kids, because I know my niece and nephew, they like that shit. But I feel like, where is the monitoring? Where is the parenting that goes on in people's households? Even though, because it's hard
to parent when you got to work. I feel like the reason why a lot of people let TV raise their kids because they're at work.
And I can attest for that, because I have a brother that decided to be raised by the streets, and it's an adverse for him now. But it's like, because I can't take that from my mother, but then I can always say, I always tell my mom, I'm like, you should have married a man that's more active. And so it's like, I get that, but it's just like, we have to start taking more responsibility for the kids we put in this world. That's really what it is. Because people are looking up to people like NBA YoungBoy and Nick Cannons of the world, Futures of the world, and they only are creating a more, I don't even want to say evolved, a more ignorant version of these same type of men, because I even saw this post. It says, why do when we see black children, we're saying, oh, he'll be so good at sports or he'll be so good at this, and we never put any other emphasis on what black children can do. We give them a glass ceiling of what their talents are or what they can give to the world. They never say, oh, he's going to be a great doctor. He's going to be a great lawyer of the world. They look at him and say, oh, he's so tall, he's going to be great at sports.
Okay.
So I feel like we need to mold our kids. We need to be there for our kids. And yes, when you have to work, it's hard to do it, but this is a choice you decided to make when you brought the child in the world. So if you don't have the village behind you, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, did you see that video of the mom getting arrested and her child was like screaming?
Yeah.
Cussing out the police officers, and they're like, that child needs therapy. The mom should have been more concerned of making sure her child was acting accordingly.
Yeah.
And she didn't say anything. I feel like she was using her child acting out as a way for her to get out of it. But it's just, the child should not be acting like that. She has every right to be upset, but she was cursing, talking about she gonna kill people. Like, you are a little girl. What do you know about killing people?
That's what I'm saying.
So,
just step in and take the extra foot of being part of your children's lives, because
that's why all these teachers are quitting their jobs. That's why teachers are fighting students.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
It is a very scary time that we're in, because I can't even think of a time when I was in grade school, which was years ago. Let's just say years ago. I've never once thought about putting my hands on my teachers. I never once thought of putting my hands on adults.
Yeah.
So that was never my reality. So when that's something that we see very frequently now, and it's like easy access to us, like I feel like the internet
the adult put their hands on the child.
I know, but I'm saying the internet has changed a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And that's why I said more so now than ever, it is important to be a productive, contributing parent. I don't give a fuck what that looks like to you, but that's all I got to say.
Yeah. And also, I feel like we should give people the resources to do that. We say it, but also we're not putting in money or, to give people resources to be productive parents. There should be more playgrounds. There should be more arts programs. There should be things for kids to do after school, more creativity programs, more whatever it means. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but also they don't have the resources to do so. So they are getting raised by TV and the iPads because their school just cut their art program. Their school it's not giving money for the sport so they can have a sport program. They can't afford uniforms, so I always see that side of it too.
Okay, so our favorite, I want to say she's our favorite problematic bitch. Is our favorite?
She's not mine.
She's mine. Okay. I think it's because I feel like there's so many evolutions that I've seen her grow from, because I used to watch the Braxton Family Values. Like, how you said, like, how you saw Krishan and how you saw her, she changed. I could say the same thing for Tamar, because how Tamar is now is completely different than when she first got into the reality game, X, Y, and Z. She was a fucking brat. She was very unlikable, and I feel like people can still say that now. But I think that more so now, you can empathize because, like, you understand where she was coming from if you see where she started. Okay. But I guess since you haven't, you don't know. So we're going to talk.
Question. Is Tamar the youngest in her family?
Yes, she is.
Makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it
if you know where it starts, you would know how her evolution of, and there's traumas and shit that happens also. So Tamar Braxton was on Instagram, and I think she issued a public apology to her boyfriend. I don't know if it was to her boyfriend or to herself, but she just was like, healing, and as you grow, you realize certain things about yourself. And I feel like we are big supporters of saying healing never fucking stops. Some days what you thought triggers you doesn't trigger you anymore, and then it resurfaces 3, 4, 5 years later. So I think that self-recognition is very important, and allowing yourself the vulnerability and space to be scrutinized and judged by multiple people. Because the first thing Samantha was like, well, this bitch always want to say something when she do something to her man. And I'm like, if that's what it takes for her to have self-reflection, that's what she needs. And I feel like we don't know why she issued the apology, but I feel like she's at a place in her life where she's holding herself accountable for her actions, and she's showing what it looks like for her journey. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. But my thing about it is, how many times can you hold yourself accountable for the same action before it becomes a part of your personality? Like, for example, if the issue was, let's say this man kept having kept having a baby. And every time he's like, I'm sorry for having this baby. Had a baby again. I'm sorry for having this baby. Had a baby again. Nigga, you keep having these babies. You are not holding yourself accountable, and you're definitely not self-aware if you keep doing the same thing. I just think that Tamar has a mouth on her, And a lot of men do not like women with a mouth on them. And because she has a mouth on her, it's becomes a problem in her relationships, and that's why she keeps losing it. Like, it's, we always say how you talk to someone is very important. So especially with men and their soft egos and how, how prideful they are. So if she don't keep losing her man, if she doesn't fix that by her, no matter how many times she apologizes for herself and what she does, it's still gonna be an issue every time because you keep doing it, bitch. So I don't have the same sympathy for her because I didn't watch her story, I didn't watch her grow. So same thing with Christian, you didn't have the same sympathy for Christian,
and won't.
And exactly. So I get it. I get your sentiment. But me, from what I'm seeing, it's, girl, grow the fuck up. You're 50. Grow up. Do better. Be better. You're gonna do you ever want to keep a man?
But why does it also have to go back to keeping a man? Maybe you don't understand.
She clearly wants to keep a man. If she's on here apologizing on the internet, she wants to get her man kept. And I feel like it's okay if you want your man kept, but stop doing shit to lose your man if you want him kept.
But we don't even know what her man doing.
We don't.
So I just feel like, why is all the blame going straight for her when I told you, she putting herself on the cross. She over here saying, I, X, Y, and Z.
She put herself in a way to be blamed. Honestly, if it was a him thing, why ain't he apologizing?
Because
when
niggas
he
ain't gonna
fucked
apologize.
up, he apologized. When he was fucking with K. Michelle, he went out and apologized because when he fucked up. So to me, I feel like just text your man, girl. We didn't have to see this. Text your man the apology. Why you apologizing to us? We don't care. I don't care what you do. But you know what? Apologizing is good. Just stop. Don't apologize to me. Just stop making the same mistake. That's how I see it.
Okay, so let's get into our topic of conversation, which is self-awareness.
Ding, 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 ding.
What is the definition?
Self-awareness is the internal insight into personal patterns, values, aspiration, and emotional needs.
Okay. So when we looked it up, I wasn't sure, but I was just speaking and wasn't like, I was like, oh, there has to be different levels of it. So there actually is. There's 7 levels of what it is to be self-aware. So the first one is the fight or flight. This is the first stage of awareness, and it's like in this animal stage. We tend to react to things that we don't consider much else of other than our basic survival needs. So for example, the guy, people robbing other people, that's a fight or flight type of
100%.
So, and 2, follow the masses. So stage 2 is where we become slightly more aware and recognize others, but we still go with what everyone else does. I.e., another example, Hitler. Niggas knew that shit was wrong.
Right now, it's a genocide.
But they still continue to follow it because it's better to be part of something than to be exiled from something. The third
would have killed you. So
I mean,
when
yeah.
death is the thing, you line up real quick.
I mean, but it's still for the thing of following the masses, even like a cult. You are self-aware enough to know what you're doing, but not all the way like fine-tuned, like missing some screws. So the third stage is the desire for something greater. So this is the certain level of unhappiness when we start to think about other possibilities that we aspire to have outside of what we are currently dealing with. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you start having a shift in your mindset. And then the stage 4 is this is the stage where we discover through experiences that we have something unique about us. So our talents, our passions, and individual traits that spark within. We feel less need to follow others. And now we feel some motivation to do a purpose-driven life. Okay, so what's the 5th one?
Next one is discipline, the ability to give yourself a command and stick to it. Like, say, I'm going to go to the gym and actually go in the gym. That is a level of self-awareness a lot of people don't have, so good for you. Experience, actions equals results. So that's kind of a direct with what I was saying. Having the experience and action to do it is also a level of self-awareness. And last one is mastery. That's when you kind of like hit the highest level of it. And I feel like it's the level that we should all strive for, but it's like how we react to situations and being self-aware enough to know, like, when something happens, being self-aware to think about how you're going to react before you actually do it. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say there's, a car accident, and having that self-awareness, like, okay, well, these are the steps I need to take before actually taking those steps.
Okay. So do you think it's important to have self-awareness?
I mean, yeah, girl. It's very important to have self-awareness. Having self-awareness lets you navigate life in a certain way.
Yeah.
People who do have self-awareness, they tend to navigate life with more rationale. They tend to be less impulsive. They understand that not everything needs to be said. They understand that I'm not the smartest person in the room and I should be listened to. Like, I should be the one listening. So people who are able to navigate life acting that way, I feel like they're the people that become the most successful people. They understand that, you know, I am in this world to learn and to gain knowledge and to know that sometimes your idea is not always the end all be all. So those type of people tend to be self-aware and they definitely become more successful in life.
Mm-hmm. Well, you pretty much said the same thing I wrote down.
Okay.
I literally said that I said it helps you navigate the world, and I said we always talk about social like cues and understanding, and it's just really it's a good thing of character to know that you're around people that won't put you in fucked up situations. Because we all have some people in our lives where we're like, damn, we can't do this with them because we don't know how they're gonna react.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
definitely had a friend like that.
And I'm like, I hate having people like that in my life that don't understand that there are things that we can lose if you don't know how to regulate. And I feel like self-awareness has a lot to do with regulation as well, because it all starts with, like you said, the initial emotion of how you're going to react. And if you have someone that's always impulsively reacting to things, it's hard for you to be self-aware because you're trying to monitor yourself, monitor how everyone is seeing the situation. So self-awareness is very important when it comes to even interpersonal relationships, because if you don't know how to fucking act, no one wants to be around you.
Girl, say that again. Ooh.
Yeah. It's like you literally like, damn.
Yeah, because that's true. If you don't know how to act, people don't want to bring you out. People don't want to be around you. Like,
and you have to be so touchy about how you describe them too. Like, oh, well, she's like,
yeah. Yeah.
You're always protecting their character as well when the person doesn't realize how they come off to other people.
Yeah.
So
have you ever seen that meme? It's not really a meme, but it's like a clip and they're like, why do you act like that? The way you act. So let's talk about your journey to self-awareness. Do you think you're self-aware?
I would like to think I'm self-aware, but I think everyone thinks they're self-aware. So it's so crazy and a touchy thing to think about. But I feel when we say journey, that's what I feel I'm constantly always on, because like I said earlier, you think you know everything about yourself. You think your perception of yourself is who you are, but every day we have to evolve or we are missing out on key opportunities of growth. So if you would have asked me 2-3 years ago, I'm like, yeah, I know my triggers. I know what bothers me. I know myself. Mm-hmm. But I don't always feel like I know myself, because sometimes how I react is not how I innately want to, but it's a trigger response.
Right.
So I'm self-aware-ish.
Ish. Yeah.
Just like grownish. Mm-hmm. Self-aware-ish. So what about you? How is your healing, and how is your...
Yeah, I can say the same thing for me. I feel like my biggest lack of self-awareness is how I come off to other people, because sometimes like I really don't tend to come off how I'm coming off as. Like especially when I'm there chilling, just minding my business. You say all the time like your friends think I don't like them, but it's just me just literally just sitting, because one thing about me is I'm fake shy, and I feel like a lot of people who know me who are so
hold on, emphasis on real shy, because it's so crazy, because when we're on the podcast everyone thinks that Sammy is the tyrant in real life when I'm the tyrant in real life. Like I am a crackhead and Sammy just be chilling and just be taking everything in. I will put us in some dangerous situations and Sammy's just sitting back like, girl, do you know what we doing? I said, no, we just here.
I'm very well. When I say fake shy, I mean people are always surprised. My friends are always surprised when they put me in a different situation and I'm shy. They're like, "Bitch, what the fuck is going on? This is not you." I'm like, I'm able to be my complete self when I'm around people I know. Like when I'm around people I know, I'm a tyrant. They know I'm a tyrant, but when I'm around people who I don't know, I'm just so like taken back and shy and quiet, and it comes off, especially in group settings, as me not liking you or being a bitch. But honestly, I'm just scared. Like I'm just being like, oh, okay, like let's take it in the situation. So yeah, that's my I feel like I'm self-aware, but I don't mean to come off as like that perception, because people who know me know I'm not that way, but my perception, which I don't know how to change it. I don't know what I'm doing to become off that way. Like I don't have the self-awareness. I don't know if it's my face or my lack of talking or my short answers. I don't know what it is. So I gotta get that self-awareness up about that. But yeah, I'm self-aware-ish.
Self-aware-ish. We got to trademark that now.
Yeah, self-aware-ish need to be a hat.
Okay, so we always say that people have self-awareness to a certain extent. And just like she was talking about how she doesn't know why she's perceived to certain people, I feel like everyone sometimes know they're aware of certain things, but like she said, I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you could fix something like that though? Because I feel like if that's just who you are, sometimes that's okay. Because you know when we always say that some people are self-aware to an extent, it's not like you don't want to learn from it, but it's just
my personality.
it's naturally
But
for you to fall
sometimes
into that.
Are, people don't like it. People
And that's okay.
And that's the thing. Like, people just don't like maybe that part of me. But once they get to know me, they realize, okay, that's not who she's really not a bitch. But yeah, I feel like that's real, because I'm aware of it, but I don't have the tools to change it. I don't know. One, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I feel like someone needs to point out, these are the things that you're doing for people to feel this way, and maybe I can understand what I'm doing.
And then also on the other end, because like you said, when you want to change but you don't, there's sometimes where there's something about you that you don't care to change.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for me, like we always talk about how I struggle with sometimes how I come off to people, and I feel like I had to stop caring because it's like if I'm constantly shifting my perception of what people think I am, because some people might be fucking right, but then I also saw this meme of every version of that someone got of me is right. So we always got to think about there's always outside factors of why you act the way you act. And no one's always saying that you're justified and right of what you feel. But if that's what you did and you're okay with that, you're okay with your self-awareness to a certain extent. Because if I know this is what people are going to get from me, and I know I've already struggled with this, and I've already changed my perception. I've already changed the places I be, or the things that I say, or how I present myself. There's a certain point where you got to stop changing for people and just allow whoever's supposed to be in your life be in your life.
Right, because the people who matter don't mind. The people who do mind
don't matter. Yeah, is that Dr. Seuss, bitch?
Yeah.
Okay, good. See, still teaching us some shit.
Yeah. I think Dr. Seuss was a racist though, so no.
I mean,
no shout out
who's
to him.
not racist?
My point is, no shout out to him.
Okay, so do we want to talk about our TikTok video? Okay, so we were watching a TikTok video where she was saying that self-awareness is a scam. She say that because, and I can attest, she said, do you know how irritating it is sometimes when you hear someone say, well, I know this is the issue. I know this is the issue, but they do nothing to change it. It's like, yes, you're self-aware. And what? It's like we think this is like a badge of honor of knowing that we have these issues, but we're like, as your friends or people that want to see you grow, it's like I said, being hypocritical, right, though. But it's like, we hear you say these things like, oh, well, I know this is a problem. I know this isn't that. And I'm like, so what are you going to do about it? Because it's not up to us to help you change. It's up for us to give you space to feel free to feel those things and to facilitate them. But it's like, when is it enough to just not know and work on yourself?
Right. Okay, I have nothing else to add to that.
Oh, you have nothing? Okay. And so I know I just mentioned how some people will be so aware, but we said that sometimes they lack the tools. And it's very important to understand that you only gain self-awareness through situations and experiences. You can't wake up one day and know every fucking trigger or every fucking flaw that bothers you, yourself, and everyone else. So it is very important to give yourself some grace to understand that if you don't go through shit, you can't grow. And even though that is the oxymoron of being self-aware.
How is that an oxymoron?
Because I just feel like you have to go through shit to learn, but it's like going through shit is the hard part. Like, you know, sometimes...
That doesn't make it an oxymoron though, but I agree what you're saying, but that doesn't make it an oxymoron.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some signs?
No, I was gonna say I 100% agree with you that you have to go through stuff to understand your triggers and be situationally aware. But some people, like I would say me, we learn from others. So I don't always have to go through something to be aware of something. I can be aware of something for someone telling me, or through reading a book. Like self-awareness could also be taught besides actually experiencing the thing. But the best way to learn something is to experience it. Because a lot of times, like, we don't understand. Someone can tell us something and we don't listen
until you go through it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like, I feel like.
But I'm the type of person that I don't have to go through it to feel it.
Okay, well, I don't need to get a baby dad to know I don't want a baby dad.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, you don't always have to go through it to understand you don't want yourself to be aware.
So I can attest for that, but there are some things that I have to go through because it's like
100%.
More than one person will tell you something and you're just like we said, that's not me.
Because how many times have we told our friends to leave that man alone? and they didn't leave that man alone, and then they learned, oh shit, you better have left that man alone. Like that's so many situations that we sometimes our parents tell us something and we do it anyway. Sometimes I tell my friends something and they do it anyways. Like sometimes I tell myself something and I do it anyways. So
And guess what? You learn the best from by doing it
By
yourself.
doing it
anyways.
yourself,
It's like
right.
you just feel like it's like when someone tells you not to do it, you do it. Like when they say don't look, you look.
Yeah.
Because we hear the last thing and not the first thing. But they
Yeah.
said that's something in our brains. So
yeah, but if you are a person going through this world and you are like, am I self-aware? Am I these people they're talking about? Here are some signs you actually lack self-awareness. So here are some signs you lack self-awareness. You do not accept feedback. And not only do you not accept feedback, you react negatively to feedback. Grow up. That's one thing.
okay, another way is that you lack boundaries. If you lack boundaries, that means that you are not even sure that this is something that bothers you until it bothers you every fucking time.
You are not open-minded. I feel those are the most least self-aware people that think what they say is Bible because they say it as fact. Like that is not how life works.
I'm gonna be loud and wrong sometimes. That's okay.
But people don't understand facts and opinions are two different things. And a lot of people think their opinions are facts. And that is a lack of self-awareness that's so gigantic. And there's a lot of people who have this problem. And I have to remind y'all, like, hey, your opinion is not Bible.
Another way is that you often regret your everyday decisions. If you can't even trust yourself, you're not even self-aware to know that it ultimately is your life. So do the damn thing.
You're constantly attracting drama. And then a lot of times the people who are constantly attracting drama, they were like, well, I don't understand why things just, why I keep losing friends or why this, it's you. It's you. And you lack the self-awareness to to understand you're the problem. If every time you're going through shit and every time you have drama, you keep getting into it with all your friends, you're the problem. And a lot of people lack that self-awareness to understand sometimes I'm the drama.
Honestly, I feel like that's very subjective, and I don't think that's true, only because as someone that has lost friends and I recognize what I've done, I feel like that's very like pitting of saying, well, you're the drama, you're the problem. And I'm just like,
I didn't say someone who's lost friends. I say if you're constantly losing
I lost
friends.
like 2 friends back to back. That's given constantly to me.
Okay, we probably have two different opinions of constant. Because to me, if you're continuously losing friends, like you can't keep any of your friends, you're the drama. But I don't mean I've lost 2 friends. I don't think that means that. To me, that's not constant. Losing 2 friends is not constant.
But I also feel like it's very subjective of where people are in their life. So I feel, yes, you can say someone's a drama, but like we keep saying, I'm gonna Tamar it all the way through. We don't know every aspect of why people came to that decision, and there's always, when say 3 sides. Your side, their side, and the truth.
Right.
So I feel like the only issue, and I'm only saying that because I felt something when you said that. It's just but I'm saying I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's sometimes literally the spaces you are in your life, we don't mesh.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I agree with you. I'm a person who's also lost friends, who also had to, cut off friends. I don't think that makes you the drama because you've lost friends.
I know, but when you said you're the drama, my heart was like, I'm the drama.
Yeah, in my opinion, that doesn't make it fact. Like I said, opinion doesn't mean it's true. But in my opinion, if you are always losing friends, if you're always getting into it with your friends, if you and your friends always have to have a talk, you probably are the drama. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one I put is that you repeat negative emotional patterns. If you know that something that you're doing is ultimately outlandish and you keep acting that way and keep doing it, and you don't take responsibilities for your own actions, that's an issue for me. And that's a sign for sure that you lack self-awareness. If you cannot recognize in certain spots where it's like you wasn't right, and that's okay. Like,
yeah.
What's your last one?
That was it. I already said 3.
Okay, so since we talked about signs of what might happen if you aren't self-aware, let's talk about how you can improve your self-awareness. So I think a very key place to know how to improve your self-awareness is by journaling, because you can see where you started and see where you're going, and you can always reflect on how you felt at that time in that moment. Because, for example, Risa Tisa, when she started journaling, or her, audio diaries, she started listening back to them, and she was like, I'm not crazy. I'm not gaslighting myself. So it took her starting her awareness of like, girl, this man is lying to you.
Right.
For her to get on the other end and be like, I knew he's been lying, so my self-awareness is finally kicking in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you improve it by gaining consciousness. Like, to me, is the only way to gain self-awareness. And you can gain consciousness by read a fucking book. Like, there's so many how-tos, improve your life, how to
Do you
gain...
think that self-help books work, though?
Yeah, I think self-help books can work. There's so many of them. And they allow, reading is fundamental. Reading allows you to learn and to gain consciousness. So sometimes all you gotta do is open up a fucking book and be like, okay, shit, that is me. And I'm saying that because it happened to me. I opened up a fucking book and I realized things about myself that I didn't know. It took me reading it and seeing it in words to understand, okay, this is what you do. So this is how you can improve what you're doing. What's another one?
So I think another way that you can improve your self-awareness is by accepting yourself. Like I said, there are certain things that about you that people are not going to like, and there's certain things that you need to work on, but you have to accept where you're at to know where you're going. And most times when you're in denial of, man, because being in denial stops your growth of self-awareness. You're literally just there, and like you said, same things keep fucking happening in you, and like you just said, I don't know why this is happening. So I know we talked about this a few episodes ago, but accountability goes so far in your life and so many streams of what it can do for you that once you recognize accountability is literally directly linked to your fucking self-awareness. So.
And this one's always easier said than done, and also not always the best financial option, but find a therapist.
Yeah.
Seeking therapy, I think, is a great way to gain consciousness and to get a lot of self-awareness, because talking to someone who don't know you, who has no bias, who's only going to tell you the truth, if you have a good therapist, is a way to realize, that is why I do that. That is why the way I am.
And lastly, I feel like you need to be objective. Be open to change. Be open to not saying that's just how I am. Be open to...
I hate that that's just how I am type of person. Well, I can't say that. I'm an in-between. That's just how I am.
I'm an in-betweener too, but I feel like with more time, you could start saying that. I feel like we always premeditatedly say that, but if someone doesn't like, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was me 3 years ago. If you would ask me, if you see episodes, I would say shit like, that's just who I am. And now I can sit back and say, that's who I was.
Okay, that's so beautiful.
I mean, you have to, because like we just said, if you can't recognize your issues, no one wants to be around you. And at the end of the day, companionship is everyone wants it, even if it's platonic or romantic. You want people in your life, and if people can't recognize and see you, it's because you can't recognize and see yourself. So,
another way is the journey of trying to heal your inner child. That journey is a very scary journey. It's a very hard journey, I feel, going back to your childhood and trying to figure out what things that traumatize you to make you react the way you do now. And a lot of times there's some things that I didn't notice that I do because of my childhood. So something happens, I'm like, okay, that clicks. That's why I react this way. That's why I feel because something happened in my childhood. So healing that inner child can definitely gain a lot of self-awareness and allow you to navigate the world better and smarter, because you understand what your triggers are, understand why you do things you do.
And I feel like to attest to that, because I feel that for a long time in my life, I would be very, I feel like I still am, but I'm more respectful about it. I was just very, very vocal. And Sammy would always tell me, not everything needs to be said, not everything needs to be said. And I think it's because when I always think back to it, I'm like, when I was a child, I wasn't allowed the freedom to say what the fuck I wanted to say. So now that I'm an adult, you goddamn sure I'm not gonna fucking not say nothing if I want to say something. So it's like...
That's so crazy, because we both have that similar upbringing. Because as a child, I wasn't allowed to say what I was supposed to say, but that caused me to not communicate.
Yeah.
So, but to you,
and we always say that you can be raised in the same fucking house and get two different lessons.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I feel like I always say something. I'm like, no, you're gonna know how I feel because it's made me feel this way.
Yeah.
And I feel like feelings are so important. I know that they fluctuate and they're different, but that inner child thing is so serious because it just gives you a different perspective of the layer of who you are, because a lot of ways that we are is because of how we were raised.
A lot of ways. We don't even realize it till we get older. There's so many things I do, and it took me reading books to understand this is why I do certain things that I do. So, Yeah, the inner child journey is a tough one. It's like looking into the mirror and seeing like a face you don't recognize. So it's like, oh, wow, like it's so deep. And I
She
encourage
said so
everyone.
deep.
It's very deep in recognition. And I was also on mushrooms when I did it, so I think that's another level to it.
Honestly,
But,
that's like a whole free therapy session. Anyone
yeah.
that wants to reveal their deepest and darkest secrets, get on mushrooms.
Go on mushrooms. I love to take a shroom or two. So yeah.
Do you feel like anyone can ever be fully aware?
I think there are people who are fully aware, and the people who are fully aware tend to be the most depressed people. People who are they're aware of everything. They're aware of the way the world works. There are people who are very aware of things, and they don't want to live. Like, I feel like if you are fully aware, you're going to kill yourself, because to be fully aware of all the things that are happening in this world, there's no way you can live happy. Because to me, like, look, we say ignorance is bliss. The reason why I can be happy on this earth is because I'm ignorant to so many things. And I don't know everything that's going on. If I knew all the knowledge, like what? I could never be president. I don't want to know all the secrets. I don't want to know everything. That's so scary and so heavy. So yeah, there are people who can be fully self-aware. Like they said, there's only like 10% of 50% of people in the world who are fully self-aware, and for you to be that self-aware, you cannot be happy. I don't think you can be. What about you?
I think I can agree with that. I feel like if you do understand all of the fucked up shit that be going on, it would be hard to stay quiet or not try to change the world. So I know me personally, I wouldn't want to be fully aware, and I'm okay with that. I feel like being socially aware, cool. Being personally aware, cool. Like, those are things I want to draw the line at. I haven't wanted to change the world in a long time, but if I do, I would open my mind to that. And I mean, and it also goes back to what you eat. We can't open to a certain part of our mind because of the food that we eat, the shit that we watch. So it's more than just books and X, Y, and Z. It's what we eat. It's what we do. It's what we filter. So there's a lot of things that go into self-awareness and consciousness that I'm okay with not unlocking, because the ignorance is my bliss.
It is. Like the dog Bunny. She became fully self-aware, and she was questioning herself, like, why am I a dog? What is going on? The dog asked for antidepressants. The dog would look in the mirror and be like, who am I? And the dog was so self-aware, it got depressed. So yeah, self-awareness is...
No, I was gonna say, and I watched the video because at first I thought she was, because Sammy be saying shit, and I'm like, I know some random fact that she fucking knows. But then when she sent me the video, the dog was really sad.
Yeah.
When he realized it was a dog.
Yeah, he was like, the dog thought she was a smart creature. She realized she was a dog. She's like, oh, I'm owned by someone. I'm just a pet. I do commands. So when she realized that, the dog asked for antidepressants.
She did. She said medicine.
Who prescribes a dog antidepressants? What doctor did you find to prescribe your dog some antidepressants in the first place? I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah, so self-awareness, like I said, can make you really fucking sad because you are fully aware.
So there was a video on TikTok that we saw, and we were pretty much saying that how your self-awareness is directly connected to your self-confidence, because the things that you value, you show up as, and it is a self-proclaimed bias that you do for yourself. If you start wanting better for yourself, you're going to start doing better for yourself. When you start doing better for yourself, it all goes back to keeping that promise to yourself of that boundary that you set originally. And at first, when we were talking about it, I would like ask Sammy when we were on the phone, I was like, do you think it's true? And she was like, I don't know. I sent her the video and she was like, oh yeah. Because I'm like, once you realize that you can do better in your life, your self-awareness kicks in and protects you from putting yourself in bad positions. It's like we said earlier, when you're with people that don't got shit to lose, you're like, I'm self-aware, and if I know this motherfucker about to act out, I'm not going to go nowhere with them, because me being self-aware knows I don't value shit like that in my life no more. But when you aren't as confident, you are gaslighting yourself into situations to be accessible to things that don't align with who you want to be. So how you feel about that?
Okay, before I get into that, do you feel scared when you go out with me?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because, sometimes you never know how much to act out.
The thing is, I feel that I've known how to prep you. I know how to watch your social cues. That took situationally getting to know, because I see when Sammy's getting to a certain level, I know how to de-escalate it. Before, I wouldn't know how to do that. But it only really happens when you're drinking alcohol and you're in certain spaces.
Yeah.
It's not you don't have decorum at every fucking place, but there are certain places that bring out the nigga in you. Like, being at good mood. I already know how you feel before going there, before even drinking. You're like, I hate this place. I hate the people here. So I know if you are tending to get more antsy in that space, I would like to get you out of that space.
Okay.
But I know situationally the awareness, but no.
Okay,
I'm
I
not-
get to ask that because I'm like, is this bitch scared going out with me? Because thing about me is I'll be chill, and the next thing you know, I'm not chill.
I'm crying.
And
Yeah,
it's very
and-
hard to get me unchill.
And she don't shut up either.
And it's very hard to get me unchill when I get to that point. So I'm like, don't be scared to go out with me.
I'm not scared to go out with you. I just don't like where you be going out.
Okay, yeah, same. I feel the same.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so back to self-confidence and direct link. Yes, because there's this podcast I listen to called Something Was Wrong, and it has about 8 seasons. And the one common denominator between all these people, which there's different people for different seasons, sometimes different people for different episodes, is that they all lack self-confidence. Every single person talked about how they did not have the self-confidence to get themselves out of the situation because they lack self-confidence, because they didn't feel good with themselves. They allowed themselves to stay in a situation longer than they should have. And that's how you get situations with this one girl who found out she watched her boyfriend drive to his girlfriend's house. And and even though he told her the girlfriend was dead. So she watched it happen. She saw the girlfriend that alive and still stayed with this man, even though he killed his girlfriend. That kind of situations is you have to be a person who don't have self-confidence. Because if you had any self-confidence, you would have the self-awareness to know that you shouldn't be with the man who lies about killing his girlfriend.
Right, because he gonna kill you off somewhere.
Like, what? No, not
Physically,
that
mentally.
he lies about killing his girlfriend. The girlfriend was never dead.
I know, but I'm saying he gonna kill you off too. That's what I'm saying. He gonna kill you off and say that
To
you
the
were
next
dead.
bitch, my girlfriend did. So I actually knew a guy who did that.
I know, you told me.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, crazy. And he beat her up because she found out. Like, that's the top. Come on now. So it is a direct link. People who are confident, which I say I have somewhat of confidence in myself, I do not put myself in certain situations because I always tell myself, my husband wouldn't do that to me. A man who loved me would not do that to me. A man who actually cared about you
would never do that.
Would never. So when you get yourself in a space of thinking, giving yourself those questions, would the love of your life do this to you? Yes or no? If it's no, get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into some motherfucking questions.
Okay.
Have you ever met someone who was above self-awareness or who was unwilling to grow?
My daddy. That man right there is the most ignorant nigga I ever met in my life. Like, the stuff he do, Amit can attest. He does some ignorant ass shit. And it's just like, you have to completely lack self-awareness to feel confident to do the stuff that you do and do it as confidently as you do it. So that man right there, you know what?
Your father's audacious.
He's very... very audacious. Like, I'm not even going to get into the stuff he do, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
My question to you is, how do you deal with someone who lacks self-awareness?
The way that I deal with someone who lacks self-awareness is I don't like to tell people about themselves, but I give them grace and space to try to learn themselves. And I feel like if they aren't picking up on the self-awareness aspect of things, I try to insert myself, but it's really hard to tell someone about themselves.
Very.
Because you want to come from a place of love, but sometimes people don't. They take constructive criticism as destructive. And I feel you have to just learn someone and figure out how to communicate best with them, how they will understand. Because I could tell you something and it comes from a place of love, but how you receive it might not be the same because your self-awareness is like we keep saying, and I go back to, that's not me. I would never do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just feel you got to give people space to figure it out a little bit. Because if you think that you know everything about self-awareness and how to tell people how to act because you are a growing, evolving person, you can't assume everyone's at the same spot of growth in their life. Mm-hmm. So how do you, because I don't have a second question.
Oh, I have a second question. Do you think self-awareness is nature or nurture?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because you can learn self-awareness from people you're around. And like I said, you can learn self-awareness from situations you go through. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think anyone's born with self-awareness.
Actually, you are. You gain self-awareness by 15 to 18 months old. I read that up. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can be born with self-awareness. And that's the reason why I actually got a question, because I feel like some people are born more self-aware. They've been talking about this conscious baby. Have you heard about that on TikTok?
No.
This conscious baby? Well, they asked the baby, who wants to go to Four Seasons Hotel? She was like, me. Like, there are babies who are very self-conscious. They know what's going on. Like, when you talk about my baby was born with their eyes open, they didn't cry, they looked around, they knew what was going on. I truly believe I do believe it can be nature or nurture, and there's some people who are born with self-awareness, but it's up to you to nurture that and to gain knowledge.
Also, when we say that, if you're born with consciousness, I'm just thinking, because, you know, we think of like things in the spiritual aspect. Could it not be that they were here before?
100%.
Okay, I just want
100% believe if you are born in consciousness, you are here before. Because there's no way you can have this knowledge without being here
because
before.
like they'll be like, I think there was like on 2020 one time, and it was like this person, he was like a little white boy, and he was talking about how he died.
Yeah.
And he would never knew that because he lived across the country, X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like,
That's that's an example of a baby being born with self-awareness, with consciousness. So 100%, it's possible you can be an adult as a child. There are people who know who tell you, oh, before they were born, oh, you know, grandma did this. How did they know that information?
Yeah.
They had to be here before. So yeah, that's my last question. So.
okay. So thank y'all for following us on this journey of self-awareness. If you guys are struggling with self-awareness, which we sometimes all are, just know that growth is not linear and that we are here for you. So grab a glass of wine, follow us on all social media platforms at The Real Sip and Spill, except Twitter, which is
Sip and Spill 1.
Give us a 5-star rating for some 5-star bitches. Oh.
I sip wine, kick my feet up when I get tired. And as I recline, take another sip, let my thoughts unwind. Sipping and spilling it.